Fed is hawkish. We have a debt ceiling crisis coming along. Banks are going through some things, and I'm all over the place in my portfolio. Should I be selling my stocks? That's one of the biggest questions that I get asked right now. Should I sell this stock? Should I sell this stock? Blah, 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 blah. Well, in this video, I'm going to take you through some simple things to look at before you make a decision like, should you sell your stock? Because you could be getting out too early, or maybe you're holding too long and getting out too late. If you're all about trying to make money, which I know we all are, then this is a video for you to know if it's the right time or not to sell your stocks. Let's get right into the VectorVest system. We're going to start right here on the home page. And we know I'm not going to try to get too intricate into what to do and throw a whole bunch of esoteric stuff at you. I want you to be able to make a decision quickly and confidently, because we're going to do the work and you're going to reap the rewards. So right here on the home page, when you look at our color guard, what's the main color you see? Just like a traffic light, we have red, yellow, and green. The color that I see the most of is yellow. Well, caution. That doesn't mean panic sell. And I think a lot of people see a down day like we're having today and you panic. There's no need to panic if the market is not telling you to panic. There's a lot of yellow. Be cautious in your investing. Be cautious in your investing and tighten the stops on the stocks that you have. What does that mean? I hear that asked a lot as well. What does that mean? Tighten my stops. Well, let's say you have a 10% trailing stop. And when you now get to a point where you need to be cautious, maybe you tighten it up to a 7% trailing stop. It affords you the opportunity to take profits off the table quicker, but it also affords you the possibility to not let a stock go against you 10%. I'd rather take a 7% loss in a stock when the market is looking iffy rather than taking a 10% loss. So tighten your stops. No matter what your stops are, tighten them to make sure you take profits earlier and you get out of losses a little earlier as well. So that's step number one. Take a look at what's going on the homepage or whatever market timing you're using, all right? But from VectorVest, we make it very simple to look at the colors on the color guard. The next thing you need to do, let's check some market timing. Let's go to the graphs. And from the graphs, we can change from a stock graph to a market timing graph. Now, a lot of you out there may not feel that market timing is useful, but from a market timing perspective of what we do, we don't dictate or try to predicate where the market is going to go. We follow the trend of the market because our market timing is based off of trend. Now, I'm looking intraday right now. The market did a little bit of a big dip. There it is. At the open, we fell. We're still not overtaking. Now, this is from a day trade perspective. We're still not overtaking the gap that we had down. So the market still has legs to the downside for the day. But we've had a little bit of run. The market's leveling out. And this can drive you crazy. So think about it from this perspective. I use the intraday graph to know when to stop out of a stock from a day trade perspective. If the majority of the stocks that I own are not day trades, you are not looking at an intraday graph. I need everybody in the chat. I know this is not live, but I need you to understand and tell me that you understand that. There's a difference between looking at getting out of a stock intraday and end of day. All right. So if you're in end of day, you're not monitoring your get out or your exits on an intraday graph. And that is a very important point that you all must keep in mind. So that's intraday for my day trades. Let's go put this on a 3-month graph. And there we go. From an intraday, from an end of day perspective, what's the market doing? Well, as you see here, from this little swing high, the market is now back in the downtrend. So that makes me a little nervous about the stocks that I have. Wait a minute. It shouldn't make you nervous. It should be keeping you on top of what you need to be considering. It backs up the notion that the color guard is primarily yellow at this time. Now, until we fall down to a level of support and market timings change and all that kind of stuff, you are already getting prepared in case the market is going to continue to go down. All right, That's step number 2. We looked at the home page, step number 1. We looked at market timing, step number 2. Now, I didn't talk a lot about the different market timing calls we had, and we can do that real quick. Looking at the confirmed call, we're still in the confirmed down call, and we have been all the way since 2/21/23. So if you're longer term, it's done a great job. It's kept you out of the market all of this time. If you're more of a prudent investor, we have the DEW. We're currently in a down call as well. As of 5/2 of 2023, we look at the most aggressive timing call we have, the primary wave. We're still in a down call from 5/4. So now from a market timing perspective, we're telling you not to buy any new stocks. But also from that, because of all of that yellow, you tighten the stops on the stocks that you currently have right now. All right, so that's step number 2. Step number 3. Let's look at some stocks that are big stocks or high VST stocks in the database. We're going to go to the Viewers tab, and I picked out 8 stocks for you to take a look at. These are all high VST stocks. You may or may not own these stocks, but I use these because these are some of the best stocks in the database by way of value, safety, and timing. And I think that this is a good first step in analyzing really good quality stocks to let you know when it's the right time to sell out of these stocks. So as I look at this SMCI, one of the best stocks in the database, all the way down to Palabra Minerals, PILBF, all of these have very strong combinations of value, safety, and timing. Let's do a little bit more research. 1, are these stocks undervalued? Yes, that's trading under its value, trading under its value, under its value, under its value. So at least I know that we're going along with the mantra of the VectorVest system. We want you in safe, undervalued stocks that are rising in price in a rising market. So it fits the value perspective. Upside potential. All of these stocks have great upside potential. They all should outperform a AAA corporate bond over the next 1 to 3 years. So long term, I'm in the right stocks. Safety. Well, some of these safeties are not so safe. Safety, relative safety, lets you know how safe your stock is or not. High relative safety stocks are stocks that tend to meet or exceed earnings expectations quarter over quarter, year over year. I start to pay attention when I see a relative safety below the value of 1. Those are not nearly as safe. Doesn't mean to get out of them, but it means I keep my eyes on those stocks and keep it in the back of my mind. All right, not as safe. I'm going to keep my eyes on it. Relative timing. Now, before I get to relative timing, what I've done is I've already looked at the fundamentals on the stock. For the most part, these stocks have solid fundamentals. If I look at the graph of all of these, or the average watch list average of all of them, all of these stocks all together are fundamentally sound. So that's a good thing. You're in fundamentally sound stocks in a market that's a little iffy. I know that I'm in quality stocks. VST overall is good, the whole 9 yards. Now let's start looking at a technical indicator. We're one of the only companies that when we look at our master indicator, we incorporate the fundamentals with the insight of the technical analysis. RT is our technical indicator. Tells me if a stock is in an uptrend and how big of an uptrend it is. All of these stocks are definitely in uptrends. Well, if that's the case, then what am I worried about selling these stocks for? Aha! That's an issue. Just because it's in an uptrend, just because the VSTs are good, doesn't mean that you just sit back on your laurels and let them go. You've got to be able to monitor and know when it's the right time to get out of these stocks. CI, that's another technical indicator. It tells me that the high CI stocks tend to go up more than they go down. High CI stocks are stocks that are resilient to lengthy pullbacks in the market. Look at these stocks. All of these stocks, with the exception of one, tend to go up more than they go down. That's a positive sign as well. Folks, I haven't looked at a stitch of news on any of these stocks. I'm using the analysis within the VectorVest system. So now I've checked the fundamentals. I've checked the technicals, looking at RT and CI. Last thing I need to do is graph them all. This is where the rubber meets the road. I'm going to put these on a 3-month graph. I'm going to change the graph layout to what I like to call GETR swing. All right, I'm going to put some things on and I'm going to take some things off. I'm going to take off dividend. I'm going to take off earnings per share. And I want to simply look at a couple of things. I want to put on the stop price. The stop price is going to be key for you if you are a VectorVest subscriber. The stop price is a 13-week moving average, which is adjusted for the fundamentals of the stock. So it's not just simply something you can go out and get outside of VectorVest. We look at the fundamentals of the stock and we will lower the stop price to keep you in the stock longer. Notice as the stock's price falls, we bring down the stop price to give it a little bit more room. That's because the fundamentals on the stock are good. Look at the relative value and the relative safety, both above 1 on SMCI. We're going to give the stock a little bit more room. Now, when I talk about the stop price, you can use it as gospel or guide, as a guide to say, oh man, the stock is falling closer, maybe I need to get out of it. But you'll also notice that I've got a 20-day exponential moving average on the stock. That will get me out a little faster as well. Use them in tandem with each other. I think you'll do a great job of knowing when to get out of a stock. So look at this stock, and I've also got support and resistance on here, and I've got value. I want to make sure I'm in stocks that are undervalued. Undervalued stock, rising in price, but I can get out a little earlier to take those profits in iffy markets. When the price falls below whatever moving average you're comfortable with, you can use a faster moving average to get out faster or a slower moving average to give you a little bit more time. If you really want to give yourself a little bit more time, my suggestion is to use the stop price. Notice that it does a really good job of keeping you in the stock without getting you in and out. And of course, I want volume to make sure that I've got commitment to the stock move. Let's go to the next stock real quick. CPRX, a little bit of a channel. Would this have been a good point to get out? Absolutely. Notice that the stop price, though, remember, as gospel or guide, kept you in. And I love that we offer a stop price as your line in the sand to know when to actually get out of the stock. But I'm also looking at the 20-day. That could get me out of the stock faster as well. And I got a level of support. Notice that support and the level of the stop price did a great job keeping you in, and you're still in it. Let's go to the next one. ASRT, bottom left, top right, fell below the stop price. That would have been a good opportunity, especially if you were in here. Take that profit off the table. It also fell below the stop. Two things. It fell below the stop and it fell below my 20. That was probably a good day to get out. And you say, but wait a minute. I missed all of this. How did you know that was going to happen? Would you have rather have taken your profit off the table than to gamble it and see if this did not happen? It's your choice. All right, let's go to the next stock. TGLS, bottom left, nice 45-degree angle. Look at that stop price doing an excellent job keeping you in the stock. And it's undervalued. Love that. Love that. The 20-day would have gotten you out earlier. The support level would have kept you in. But different ways to manage to know when to get out of your stocks. Wow, LNTH, bottom left, top right. Look at the stop pricing. And you know something? I'm going to take off the 20-day exponential moving average. Where is it at? Let's just use the stop price. How simple is that? Let's just use the stop price. Let's go to the next stock. Wow, look at that. Stock pulls back, moves sideways, stop price keeps you in. And again, this is unique to only us where we use the stop price that looks at the fundamentals of the stock. ACGL, look at that. Stop price looks great. Stop price here, back and forth. You know, that's a little bit more volatile stock. And it did its job. It kept you out, but it's going back up. You can get back in, but that's all up to you. Folks, from the standpoint of knowing when to sell your stocks, you don't need me to tell you. You don't need somebody on CNBC to tell you. You don't need anybody to tell you. With the power of the VectorVest system, you can make your own decisions because we have indicators that you can't find anywhere else to be able to make those decisions. That stop price is awesome. Looking long-term, the stock is undervalued is awesome. Looking at the volume on the stock, looking at support and resistance. There's a lot of things that you can look at for. You can make it as difficult as you want or as simple as you want. And I think that stop price is a great way to let you know at all times when to sell your stocks. Thank you for listening and tuning in. If you like the content, hit the like button, hit the share button, and subscribe to the channel if you're not already a subscriber. We try very hard to put out great content for you. Folks, this video is over. And until the next time, see ya.